Hey there, welcome back to Creepy Encounters. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the videos. Urban explorers of Reddit, what is your creepiest / most horrifying experience? Went to an abandoned hospital. There was a large square staircase spiraling up to the roof on the outside of the building, locked steel door at the bottom, so the only way up was to climb on the outside up to the first landing. My buddy boosts me up, I climb over, and there's a sleeping bag with a steak knife next to it on the landing. I call down, we're definitely not alone here, dude. No, but it's cool, says a voice behind me, scaring the shit out of me and causing me to jump and whirl around. There's a young dirty homeless looking guy standing there, coming down the stairs from above, hands up palms out. Didn't mean to scare you. He takes a seat on the stairs, so I carefully step on the handle of the steak knife, lean over the edge, and pull my friend up. We had planned to sit on the roof and drink beer, so we offer homeless guy a beer, which he gratefully accepts, and we shoot the shit on the landing for a while. We're talking about the city, the cops, traveling, life in general. He's basically a drifter, been in town for a week or so, but a nice guy. Things are going pretty well when he asks, "You guys are human, right?" I fucking hate it when I meet people that end up being aliens, and you never know until you peel their skin off. They've been after me a long time, you know, they don't stop. They never stop. Sometimes I think I should just kill everyone to be safe. He's definitely not joking, and there's an uncomfortable silence as my friend and I realize this guy is fucking crazy. "Yeah man," I say, "we're human, we just wanted to check out the place and drink some beer. We're gonna go ahead and move on now, we definitely don't want any trouble." He just stares in silence, so we leave him the last beer, carefully back up to the railing, jump down and walk away very quickly, constantly looking back over our shoulders. The entire time, he's just standing there, still and silent, watching us leave. That place is still abandoned, 5 years later, and we've never been back. I'm not a believer in the supernatural, but humans can be deceptive and dangerous in ways you can't see coming. A group of my friends and I explored an abandoned asylum/mental hospital a couple years ago in the OKC metro, very unsafe at night for silly college freshmen like ourselves. The first experience we had was all of us taking our merry time enjoying the darkness and generally fucking around. You have to come in through a broken window, and we were all gathered at the window just being dumb when we hear loud, echoing footsteps down the hall running towards us. We all did that. Who the heck isn't here? Who's messing with us? Look and turn, and, after realizing we're all present and none of us are sprinting down a dark abandoned hallways, booted out of there. The second time, we could hear a group of people messing with us, jumping from around corners and such, but they never got too close. We assumed it was an animal at first, but got brave, and realized it was a person. We managed to catch them and, after staring at a collection of seemingly drugged up 20-somethings, who begged us for cans of paint and cigarettes, we got the not so good vibes, finally, you say? And tried to leave. The leader of the haunted asylum cronies asked if we had jewelry, which we denied. He then said the creepiest thing I've heard in my life. "I like jewelry. I take it off the girls here when they sleep." We fucking bolted. Nothing big, but I was once exploring a drainage tunnel with friends. We were pretty deep inside of it and turned a corner to see someone leaning against the wall with a hat on. It ended up being a sandbag someone dressed up, but scared the shit out of me because it was pretty deep in there. There were pants and shoes and a jacket with a hat on it. I don't know what they did to make the jeans look like legs, cause I didn't touch it or go back. A friend of mine went back and told me it was a sandbag and I was already done for the day. In an abandoned hotel, which had giant holes in the third floor. In one room I came across a set of neatly folded jeans, a t-shirt and a pair of men's underwear sitting in the middle of a filthy, wrecked room. Goodbye. I work as an asbestos surveyor. I regularly have to go through entire derelict buildings. One time I had to do a survey of an old nunnery, the foundations dated back over 300 years I think. I was down in the basement and I found a well with a ladder going all the way down, probably about 20 feet descended all the way down, and there was this tiny door at the bottom. I realized this obviously wasn't a well hole. The door led to a tiny room with no lighting. Inside the room there was a large cross, similar to a crucifix with restraints on it. I could only guess as it was used for some kind of religious exorcism type shit. There was scratches on the walls. The building owner had no idea it was there. I've surveyed a really old mental hospital which was derelict for years. I found a room with all the old outdated equipment for restraining crazy people in there. I didn't find that very creepy until I got this almighty chill go over me and heard a door slam. I bolted out of there like a rabbit being chased by a ferret. I found, In a tunnel near my neighborhood, a bucket of chopped up women's clothing and belts. We were kids exploring an underground flood channel. There were spots we could climb up and dangle our arms out of the storm drains on the street, but that required crawling up weird diagonal tunnels. There was 4 of us, maybe 12 years old. 1 flashlight. The walls were all graffitied with a lot of gang stuff, and even warnings to turn back. Blah blah blah. We just took it as other kids that were bored. We got to the spot where the ceiling angled down quite low to the point the opening was so small we had to crawl to continue. Challenge accepted. It looked like it opened up again shortly. So we crawled through 5 to 6 feet of the low area, and when it opened back up, it looked like we were in a large round concrete pipe, before it was square or rectangular. Still lots of graffiti. We started yelling and playing with the echoes, then we thought we heard something so we got quiet. Then a real loud "You are going to fucking die" came echoing from the darkness. The kid with the flashlight ran so fast and the rest of us were left in absolute darkness. Anyways, this was the first time we went past the low spot, but the last time we went down there. None of us died that day. The rest of us ended up quietly and slowly walking out in the darkness. I had one creepy experience I already told, but my friends who always go exploring told me about this time. They were just following a trail that went into the hills, and after almost reaching the freeway, they ended up near an old closed-up train tunnel. They were able to squeeze through some loose fencing, and after wandering through with nothing of interest, they eventually came to a bunch of shipping containers. They told me that when they glanced inside, they saw a ton of guns and ammo in one and just a shit ton of heavy boxes in the rest. After a few minutes of checking it out, they heard voices from further down the tunnel coming closer, so they got out of there. They also said it almost smelled like the ocean towards the end, so the tunnel might have led out near the beach. Edit/update, some added clarification for those who asked. The place they hiked to was somewhere between Santa Barbara and Oxnard in California, as they stopped on 101 going southbound and started their hike and ended up returning to the car and going to Oxnard at the end of the day. They made a report to the police, but I haven't heard of anything coming of that on the news or otherwise. Also, some people said it might be smugglers, but given that the crates were unlocked, the tunnel was unguarded, and it was accessible to anyone who wandered out there, I doubt that's the case. If it was, they were either just about to take off or they were really stupid. I drove a friend who was doing genealogy research on his family tree to an old cemetery that had individual family mausoleums, granite, with bronze doors and stained glass windows, for those who could afford them back in the day. It had been decades since his family mausoleum door had been unlocked and opened, so the caretaker had a hard time with the skeleton key trying to make the lock work. Finally, once we got inside, we discovered that a window on the back side, along the cemetery property line, back to back with a garage, so you couldn't easily see it, had been broken and vandals had entered through the rear. Sadly, they had pried open the sealed lids on several marble vaults and removed some of the remains, along with rings that had been entombed with the bodies at the time. Last winter I went into this abandoned parking lot under a closed shopping mall. It had 2 levels. The upper level had a bit of sunlight going in through the windows, but the lower level was pitch black. I made my way down this wide ramp that the cars would use, and I decided to have a look at the bottom level. After turning my flashlight on, I noticed that the space was huge, much bigger than the upper level. I remember how the light danced through the many supporting pillars and casted vivid shadows. I said hello and I'm just taking a look around just to make my intentions clear, but was met with no response. So I decided to walk around for a bit, but couldn't see anything of interest, just a lot of junk, some empty old bottles, but nothing that might indicate someone living or hanging around there. The place seemed completely abandoned. However, this uneasy feeling that someone might be hiding in the pitch black shadow of one of those pillars took the better of me, and I climbed back up the ramp. I left taking different route and passed under an overhead clearing that snow had fallen through. Just as I was about to hop the fence and leave, I noticed that the patch of snow that had formed had footprints in it. I know this doesn't really sound horrifying when you read it, as the logical explanation was that some poor chap had probably taken shelter from the cold inside the lot. But still, being there creeped the hell out of me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more real-life creepy encounters around the world. See you in the next video. Bye.